everyone, my name is Luna and I'm here to break down everything that happened in episode 7 of the Daggerheart miniseries Age of Umbra, Escape from the Reach. This video is brought to you by my patrons. A huge thank you to all of these wonderful people and a welcome to new patron Holly Mack. If you would like to support the channel, you can sign up at patreon.com/Luboffin. There's a link in the description. We pick up with Idle following the shocking prophecy that he would become faceless by the young man that he healed last week. Idle is very shaken and hardly leaves to join the rest of the group. They take a long rest and Misty and Snyx prepare together. Misty plays some music and Snyx prays to the veiled god Tyrus for forgiveness from Screeve. Idle, who seems to be taking his connection to the veiled gods sort of more seriously following all the events of the campaign, offers up his own prayer.
In dream I saw the pyre walk through ash and flame and veiled talk, a gift the world should never know, a heart that burns where gods ne'er go. They hide their light in humble shell to keep the pyres from ringing bell, but even quiet fires glow bright when stars are known by absence of night.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
As he reflects on the boy's prophecy, he feels that something has special plans in store for him, and I think we all know that something is Matthew Mercer. In the morning, the group speak with Commander Kieran as they prepare to depart the Celsian Athenum. The commander warns Brixton to be careful and cautious about where her supposed powers come from, as she has seen many Ether Weavers over the years who believed that they had been gifted powers from the gods, only to discover that those powers came from something more sinister. As they head out of the settlement, the townsfolk are distraught at the sight of them leaving, as they believe that Brixton can perform miracles. She addresses the crowd, playing the part of a divine-touched one very well.
We are the enduring. There is no greater miracle than the community you all behold underneath this sacred pyre. Do not put your faith in strangers. We are kind and grateful. But that does not mean that others hold the same intentions. I've seen how glorious this community is in such a short time. Have faith in that. Hopefully we'll see you all again.
Despite this rousing speech, the people begin to swarm Brixton, crying out to her and trying to reach her. Idle steps in front of her and the guards under the commander hurriedly escort them out, pushing a path for them through the people. The gate slams shut behind them, leaving the party feeling uneasy. They remind each other that while they could maybe help here, the people of Despalog need them more. They arrive at the gates to the Cinnebar Quarter, which are helpfully ajar, but the party are on guard as scrawled across them in blood are the words, "Welcome, come in and revel." The Cinnebar Quarter is the territory of the Damask Queens, a cutthroat group of marauders and bandits who like to revel in debauchery. Screeve and Adelia both had connections to the Damask Queens, but unfortunately, they are not here. The Cinnebar Quarter was once a place of opulence and wealth, and while the signs of that wealth still remain, the neighbourhood is now dilapidated and in ruin. Plus, the ambience is somewhat changed by the numerous dead bodies that hang in the streets, not to mention the barricades and fire pits and abandoned campsites of the Queen and their followers. As they walk past a house, Brixton notices a figure standing in the doorway, looking at her, before it walks through a wall. She is very disturbed because it didn't look like a spectral ghost, but rather a solid person. The group decide to investigate and go into the house. Snyx discovers a room below the floor where a family of 4 had locked themselves in. Nothing remains but their skeletons. Idle uses his new ability Final Words for the first time, succeeding on a spellcast roll to speak with the mother of this family because, as Sam says, mums always know more than dads. They ask what the family was hiding from, and Matt calls to Marisha to describe and decide this.
I'm gonna say what happened here was the youngest of the child started showing signs of being touched and having similar abilities that we have seen Idle have as well. And this soon in this current after the apostasy riots, that was even more controversial than what it is even now. And the parents did everything that they could to try and protect their youngest from the marauders and the people who were coming to prosecute the youngest.
Matt adds that the family hid in the basement for years, aided by friends, until eventually they were forgotten. Idle also asks if the woman knows of any dangers they should look out for as they travel through the Orum Wield, and Matt turns to Ashley to ask her.
The path, since when you were talking about it, you were saying it's dense wood of strong druidic presence, I think?
It was, yeah.
So, the earth on the way there, all of the, stuff that you walk on to get there. Everything, thank you. Everything is alive in a way. And plays tricks on the mind.
I really enjoyed seeing Matt hand the reins over to the players for these bits of world building. This is something that is actually a huge part of Daggerheart's sort of core principles. The core GM principles are begin and end with the fiction, so ensuring that the mechanics are supporting the fiction rather than the other way around. Collaborate at all times, especially during conflict, stating that players are your collaborators. Fill the world with life, wonder, and danger, something that Matt Mercer is very skilled at. Ask questions and incorporate the answers. This here has some specific advice about including players in the world building, such as inviting them to describe places and scenes and giving them the spotlight to describe their character's actions. Make every role important. Ensure that you're only calling for roles when the consequence of failure or success is narratively interesting, especially important because roles generate resources. So if you're sort of calling for roles that are inconsequential, it can kind of sway things either way. Play to find out what happens. The book encourages GMs to not do too much pre-planning and to leave room for surprises. And hold on gently, which kind of follows on from the above in encouraging GMs and players to be okay with changing things and, sometimes even retconning things if it serves the story. I'm really happy that Matt started using this core principle of collaborate at all times and ask questions and incorporate the answers, and I hope that it will become more of the norm. I've seen some people talk about how this series actually hasn't been the best demonstration of Daggerheart because they haven't really been following all of these core principles of the game as much as expected or hoped. But Matt did actually speak about this in the cooldown, saying that he does have to remind himself to do this after so many years doing D&D, and he also wanted to give the players time to sort of settle into the mechanics before putting that on them.
It's one of the other cool things that Daggerheart and a lot of other more modern RPGs do that even I have to remind myself as that invitational point. Playing a lot of other older games, it's very much on the game master to push that
you
forward.
Search for something and you expect the DM to
tell you what it is.
What is it?
This is what you find.
Yeah, which is also great in a way. You can definitely play Daggerheart. But as we've gone on in this, I've also wanted to kind of ramp in slowly some of those mechanics and some of those facets that kind of expand the experience and make it more of a collaboration, and to also do that to the point in which you are comfortable. So sometimes it's nothing with too crazy stakes at first,
Sure.
To throw you off. But I that's one of the things I do love about some of the more modern aspects of tabletop games, and what a lot of Daggerheart is based on is that sort of collaborative baton pass in ways that empower the players to continue to build the world beyond that session zero.
The exciting thing about letting your PCs add these world-building details is that it gives a diversity of stories because, 5 heads is better than 1 for coming up with ideas, and the players can also get invested in the stories because they had a hand in making them. It frames the campaign as a story that is sort of being told collectively rather than a story that is being experienced by the players. Of course, even in D&D, the players add to the world through their choices and character backgrounds, but we don't really see them actually describing new situations or scenarios all that much, and I've seen so many Reddit threads of my player keeps describing things, or, my player keeps rolling without me asking to, which, to be fair, those things can be problematic depending on the expectation that you have of your game, but yeah, Daggerheart has a really different sort of viewpoint about that. It does take a bit of getting used to, especially if you have mostly played games where the GM sort of holds all that responsibility, but it's actually really fun and exciting when you start to try it. I've just started GMing a Daggerheart Witherwild campaign, which is one of the campaign frames in the book. And some of my favorite things about the world are the things that my players have come up with. The tone of our game is really silly, so they've come up with things like a community of rats in the forest who wield knives, but the knives are actually like another creature, and I think we called it a needle-nosed wasp that the rats have this symbiotic relationship with. They created a fungal colony called the Move Shroom, which travels around the land, popping up overnight just as mushrooms do. They've also come up with some really beautiful things like the Dreaming Way, which is sort of this bioluminescent migration from the open sea to the waterways of the land that the Galapas follow each year. And all of this is stuff I never would have thought of myself, but they've become such integral parts of the game that I'm now building on to sort of build the story. So to bring it back to Critical Role, I think it was always expected that their use of Daggerheart would be heavily D&D flavored because, after all, it is a major inspiration for the game and is what they've been playing for the last 10 years. But I'm hopeful that in the future, especially if they use it for a long-term game like Campaign 4, that they will continue to lean more and more into the collaborative aspects of Daggerheart. I really get the feeling that this is something that Matt is actually very interested in, especially as we've seen him over the years work with other GMs and writers to expand the world building of Exandria, and he has spoken about how much joy that process brings him. So, back in the basement, the group begin to hear sounds of people in the streets above. Some followers of Farah of the Ruby Crown are setting up a place to party because it's Farah's birthday. Matt said in the cooldown that it probably wasn't her actual birthday, but she just kind of throws a birthday party whenever she feels like it. Honestly, iconic. We should all do that. The group try and work out how to leave the house without being spotted and decide to set it on fire and sneak out the back. It's enough of a distraction that they manage to get away, and in fact, the marauders kind of like it and begin throwing more debris on it to make it a huge bonfire for the party. As they sneak through the streets, they spot a carriage being pulled through the city, being pulled by 6 people. The carriage is decorated in clinking jawbones, and the people pulling it all have similar silver rings embedded in their skin, just like Screeve had. Inside the carriage is the Ruby Crown herself.
See this glimmer inside of a face peering through, holding on and clutching the curtains. A smaller, squat-looking halfling woman with black makeup around her eyes and down her nose and down her chin and across her cheeks. It seems to outline a dark coloration across her lower jaw.
Across her jawbone.
And she just kind of holds on them and looks out with a smile.
Oh my god, dude.
It's Farah.
It kind of sucks, honestly, that they bypassed her. I would have loved to have seen them interact with her in some way, and I do wonder if Screeve would have shown up somehow, like maybe he'd been recaptured by her since leaving the party. That would be heartbreaking, but also narratively very juicy. As the group continue to travel through the city, they reach several closed gates that they have to get through. Brixton and Idle manage to get the first one open, but for the second one, Matt gives the party an offer. They can climb over the wall without difficulty, but they all have to mark a stress, a deal which they agree to. And I really like that Daggerheart has the space to kind of make those sorts of deals. Heading out of Amber Reach, they begin moving through the Orum Wield, a dense forest filled with vines and old bones crunching under their feet. The wood itself tries to influence the party, with Brixton and Idle making presence reaction rolls, but they both succeed. As they search for where the barrow may be, Snyx uses his ability Nature's Tongue, critting on a spellcasting roll to speak with a raccoon-like creature.
Excuse me. Hi. Hi there. Hi.
I love him.
Wandering through the woods here. We're a little lost. Could you help us get pointed towards the... He doesn't know what the Astro Foundry is.
Maybe round green.
Big round
The
green.
barrow, you mean?
The barrow. Oh, we're past the foundry?
We're into the
Oh,
wild.
yeah.
The barrow. Do you know what the barrow is? Shoot, how do I explain what this is? The barrow? Have you...
Era of blind repose.
I have no idea what that is. There,
To...
boy.
Oh my goodness.
I've not been near something like that ever. I just stay where I'm told. Got a family back in there.
Ever seen a
You
blessed
come too
branch?
close, I'll bite your balls off.
Did you just say you're gonna bite my balls off?
Get too close, I'll bite your balls off.
The blessed
I think
branch.
there's a language...
Yeah.
There's a translation issue.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about,
Don't
golden...
talk too loud or cough too loud, I'll bite your balls off. Don't scare my kids. Don't scare my kids.
I thought you said, don't scare my tits.
Yeah, that's what
Don't do that either. I'll bite your balls off.
What? Do you eat balls?
No. But you like yours, don't you?
I do.
And I'll bite them off.
What about a building that has a golden glow? Seen one of those around here? A tomb where humans have...
Aye, there's a golden glow. Structure. Oh, that way. Rising walls on the side. Golden glow from within.
Anytime a character can talk to animals, you know it's going to be a good time. I think I'll eat your balls is going to be right up there for me with I like bread.
Do you like bread?
I like bread.
They both look at each other and hear that and go, I like bread, I like bread.
With his balls intact and directions to what they think might be the barrow, the party heads off. Eventually, they come across a ruined temple in the forest, and within those ruins, a golden glow. Idle taps into his divine powers and feels that the golden spark is a manifestation of natural power and connection between the roots and trees of the forest, but it has been corrupted by the Umbra. As they approach, an enormous figure made of branches and leaves and vines comes to life.
You watch as the roots around this light begin to tear free, and you watch as it shifts. Some of the ruin are chunks of old armor that clink, like the roots rise up into them, kind of peering out the top of an old metal breastplate with runes carved along it. It rises up 10, 15 feet. A massive bipedal approximation of some sort of natural guardian or warrior seems to rise up. These ancient weld plates seem to be affixed to its makeshift, bark-covered, stretched body, headless except for the roots that reach and constantly shift like they're trying to find something to root into. And within the center of it, you see that little golden spark, a flicker of health and ancient power that is clouded and held away, sick with dark shadow magic.
This creature is called a Fain Warden, and at first the group wonder if it holds the Blessed Branch itself or is protecting it, but Brixton realizes that this isn't the site of the barrow and this creature is a warden of the land that has been corrupted by the Umbra.
What stands before you is no saint that was set into a tomb. This is a warden of this Fain, long corrupted, and the spark of its connection to the land is dying, being siphoned and eaten away by the shadows that now animate it. With a higher than 20 roll, I'll say, you can sunder this beast, or you may try to redeem it.
Idle tests this theory by casting Sparing Touch, and it works. The creature's corruption begins to rescind. It continues to attack them, but Misty sings it an ancient song of worship with her Heartbreak Song ability, and Idle uses Healing Hands and gets the...
How do you want to heal this?
I reach in and I say, break free from the shadows that bind you. Remember that you are the oldest and strongest powers of nature.
As the golden energy leaves your grip, you watch as it begins to not just travel through the roots and bark, but spread throughout. The darkened, blackened exterior from between the armor begins to spread into a golden hue. And as it sifts through the metal and up through the top, you watch as the golden spark blossoms and grows until all of the wood and bark becomes a beautiful, moss-covered green.
I enjoyed this turnaround a lot where the party had to heal instead of harm. You know, this campaign has felt very combat heavy, so it was kind of nice to just get something a little different. With the corruption of the Umbra destroyed, for now at least, the Fain Warden becomes a massive lush green tree and the forest feels peaceful and natural again. The entire party gains 2 hope and the branches of the trees bend to make a path for them straight to the Idle Hollow peaks. After a few more hours of travel, they arrive at the entrance to the Barrow of Blind Repose. We only have one more episode left to find out if the group will be successful in bringing back a Blessed Branch to Despalog, and a few of you in the comments are predicting that they make it back, but it's too late. While that would be pretty grim, I think we have to remember that the Age of Umbra campaign frame encourages the GMs to juxtapose the darkness with hope, and to let moments of compassion and redemption and hope shine through. So I think Despalog will be saved, however, I don't think all of them are going to make it back. I really like this prediction that Snyx will be the lone survivor bringing back the branch because it mirrors the start of the campaign where we began with Snyx frantically running back to Despalog. If you want to keep chatting about Age of Umbra and all things Critical Role, you can jump into my Discord where we have a live watch party each week, and it's just a pretty chill place to hang out and chat with other critters, so there's a link in the description if you're interested. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it does really, really help. Thank you so much, and I will see you all next week. Bye!